Hey everyone, Jen here. Earlier this month, we lost someone important to this podcast and also very important to myself. My grandfather, who played Norman Carter in episode 1, Mia's grandfather. It was great to be able to work on something like this with him before he passed away, and I just wanted to take this moment to honor his memory. Thank you.
Holy crap.
What?
I think I've got our next destination. It had only been a few days since our encounter with the Ogopogo, or rather, the Naitaka. We were still looking around at our options and thinking about where to go next. And that was when I received a message from Tanuki22, a fellow user on the Monsters Den message board.
Okay, so where are we going?
Canmore, Alberta. Maybe a 6-hour drive?
Okay, and what's so exciting about Canmore?
Well, Tanuki22 sent me this news report.
Tanuki22?
Monsters Den, it's their username. Come on, it's not like we're all on a first-name basis there.
Wait a sec.
What?
I never thought about that. What's your username?
Seriously?
Come on, what is it?
Loveland Frogger 97. Can we please get back to business?
By all means, Frogger.
Anyway, like I said, I got this message from Tanuki. Now, you remember David, Cat Squatch?
Of course.
Well, ever since we tried showing him the Mishapeshu, he's been trying to convince everyone else on the board that we're full of it. Thankfully, though, most people there still want to help us out when they can. So, now, Tanuki, they don't live in the area, but this article caught their eye, and they forwarded it to me.
Okay, what's the news?
Well, there was a murder in Canmore. A man named Jeff Browning.
Lucas, I don't know if I can handle another murder.
Don't worry, I don't think a human did it this time.
All right, go on then.
Well, the victim's body was found without a head.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And you think a cryptid is behind it?
Well, apparently it would fit in well with some of the local legends. Let me do some more research, then I can tell you all about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Once we got our things packed, we headed out onto the road, leaving town and going east.
Alright, so you mentioned local legends. Does this mean you have any idea of what we're actually looking for?
Yes. The primary suspect is a creature known as the Waheela.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's not very well known. The Waheela is, basically, some kind of giant wolf. According to legend, it lives a lot further up north, the Northwest Territories, Yukon, even up into Alaska. Now, more specifically, they're said to frequent a place called Nahanni Valley.
Okay.
Now, this valley also has a far more interesting and relevant nickname.
Which would be?
The Valley of the Headless Men.
Alright, I'm listening.
Alright. The Nahanni Valley, which is also a national park, is located way up in the Northwest Territories. Now, despite being a national park, it is apparently a super difficult place to actually reach. We're talking remote. The name Nahanni itself comes from one of the indigenous tribes in the area and means the people over there. I guess this referred to another tribe, the Naha, who lived in the area. At least, they did, until they vanished into thin air. And then we have the headless part. Starting in the 1900s, prospectors and miners started exploring the area. The valley isn't really known for having valuable deposits, but that didn't stop people from trying. In 1908, 2 brothers went missing. Their bodies were found almost a year later on the edge of a river.
Let me guess. Without their heads?
Yeah, you got it. Then in 1917, a Swiss prospector moved into the area. He was there at least long enough to have built a cabin, and one day it just burned to the ground. His skeleton was found inside, but again, with no head. In 1945, another miner was found dead inside his sleeping bag. Whatever killed him took the head and just left his body there. Besides all these cases, there have been others like the Naha that just go into the valley and disappear, never to be seen again.
What about sightings? Were there any reports around the time of the deaths?
Well, no, but considering that the creature might live in the same valley, and it probably wouldn't be against eating people, I'm not surprised. And that's just the Waheela. There are legends of other similar creatures across North America. There's the Shunka-Warakan, which is said to be more of a wolf-hyena hybrid, and it lives in like the Montana area. There's also the Amarok, which is a legendary giant wolf that, according to Inuit tribes, live up in the Arctic. I mean, these could all be different reports of the same creatures for all we know.
Well, I guess it's worth checking out, at least. With a name like the Valley of Headless Men, it doesn't get much more interesting than that.
Eventually, we reached Canmore. It was a decent-sized town about an hour outside the much larger Calgary. It was really a beautiful area surrounded by mountains, and it sat on the edge of the Banff National Park. Once we got settled in town, our first goal was to find out more details about this murder. Now, unsurprisingly, the police weren't exactly willing to talk about an ongoing murder investigation. We were, however, able to get in touch with Renee, a reporter who was covering the story. We ended up meeting at a nearby cafe.
All right, what do you want to know?
Anything you can tell us, really.
I mean, it's pretty simple. The guy was found without his head.
Where was his body found exactly?
Lying face down in his backyard. Well, not face down, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Given the lack of blood around the house, that's where he most likely died, too. The body hadn't been moved.
Okay.
So, do the police have any theories?
Nothing solid. For one thing, there were no signs of a break-in. Whoever did it, it was probably someone he knew. This person comes over, the two of them go out back at some point, and then, for whatever reason, this person kills Browning. Then they cut his head off, take it with them, and flee the scene. Although, there aren't any reports of visitors around the time he would have died. No calls logged on his phone, hell, no one even found the body until a few days after he'd been killed. The guy didn't seem very popular.
And they're sure it was murder? Did he have any other injuries?
You mean besides the fact that his head was ripped off? No.
And is that what actually killed him?
Probably not. No one will comment on it officially, but they're thinking he was already dead when his head was, removed. But without the skull, who can say? He could have been shot in the head, strangled, anything.
Okay. There was no sign of a break-in. What about prints?
Fingerprints? Nothing.
Oh, footprints, actually.
No footprints either.
And do they know how the head was removed?
No, but it wasn't a clean slice from a blade. I can tell you that much.
Is there any chance it could have been an animal attack?
I mean, I guess it's technically possible. Not likely, mind you, but possible.
Is there anything else you can tell us? Any other possible clues?
Sorry, that's all I've got. If the police know anything else, I haven't been able to find out.
Well, thank you for your time.
No problem.
We headed back to the motel to discuss what we had learned and plan our next course of action.
This is crazy.
Seriously. So, what do you think?
I don't know. Like Renee said, it's possible a cryptid could have done it, but there haven't been any reported sightings. At least, none that we could find.
Which could also be from the fog.
Right, but his body was also unharmed, aside from his head. And animal attacks are usually messy. Bites, scratches. You'd think the police would have found evidence of something. Why just the head?
Maybe it likes brain. Maybe it just grabs the head in its mouth and pops it off like a bottle of soda.
Ugh, gross! I did not need that mental image. But, yeah, could be.
I don't know. I don't think a person killed him. It doesn't feel right. The details, they don't make any sense for a murder.
In that case...
This thing would be dangerous.
Yeah.
Which means we need to find it.
Yeah, the sooner, the better.
The next morning, we made our way out of town and into the nearby woods of Banff National Park, along with all our camping supplies. The goal was to stay out there until we found the Waheela and stopped it from killing anyone else. All right, where to?
I don't know. We've got no sightings to go on, and I don't sense anything. I guess we just keep going until we find something.
Well, that's awfully vague.
Every living thing needs to drink. Let's find the nearest water source and go from there.
Okay. Hey, over here. I found some, scat. Think this could be it?
Odds aren't bad. It does look like a wolf's, but bigger.
Which definitely fits the description.
Yeah, this could be a good sign.
What are you doing?
Seeing if we can learn anything else.
Ugh. Well?
I'd say we're on the right track, all right.
What is it?
A tooth. Pretty sure that it's human.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you think it was here recently? Is it still, like, warm or whatever?
No, this is at least a day or two old now. But we're heading in the right direction. Let's keep going.
After continuing to explore for a little while longer, we settled down and made camp for the night. The next morning, we packed our things and began tracking again.
Jackpot.
More scat?
Tracks. This is definitely some kind of wolf.
Oh, yeah. Reminds me of Bray Road, the lycanthrope.
This one's not bipedal, though. I can tell you that much.
Think you can follow them?
There's enough that we can try. It's getting dark, though. Let's make some casts and then set up camp for the night. We'll follow them in the morning.
I don't think I'll ever get sick of s'mores. They're just... You think that's it? That's gotta be it, right?
Yeah.
Do we go out there now?
No! Unlike the two of us, wolves have excellent night vision. Not to mention their hearing and their sense of smell. It'll be much safer to wait until morning, like we planned.
So, the next morning, we packed up camp once again and started heading in the direction that we heard the howls coming from last night. Mia was able to find and follow some more prints, and along with some educated guesses along the way, we finally found our way to the entrance of a small cave. You think it lives in there? Wolves do live in caves, right?
Yeah, they do. This is probably it.
I'm not even going to suggest going in there, but do we just wait for it out here?
Well, if this is its home, it's probably sleeping right now. So, yeah, probably best to wait out here until it comes out.
So we waited for the rest of the day. Finally, around dusk, a dark shape appeared at the mouth of the cave. It was some kind of wolf, all right. It was massive, bigger than any wolf I'd ever seen, but we were ready. As soon as it emerged from the cave, we shot it with a tranquilizer dart. Then we waited a few extra minutes just to make sure it was really unconscious before coming out of hiding. Jeez, look at it. It's like a wolf on steroids.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should,
What?
end its reign of terror, so to speak. You know, permanently.
No?
Mia, come on.
Come on, what? We'll relocate it, just like we did with Mishi. This is the exact same thing.
No, it's not. This thing killed a person, Mia. Not just some cats and dogs. This is serious.
And cats and dogs aren't?
You know what I mean.
We can't.
Can't or won't. Your grandfather wanted us to help people, not just animals. He even said it himself. Sometimes they just have to be put down.
Okay, assuming I was even open to considering that, not that I am, but pretending I was, how would we even do it? It's not like we have another vet tagging along to put it down.
Well, actually,
What?
Robbie, she gave me some supplies, chemicals, in case we were ever in a situation like this again.
And you're just telling me about this now?
Well, I knew you'd be mad about it.
Damn right I'm mad about it. I can't believe you hid this from me.
You think I want to do this? Because I don't. But it's the right thing to do.
We can't just...
What's a wolf's territory? It's big, right?
They can reach upwards of hundreds of miles.
So then how exactly would we relocate it? We could drive for hours and still be inside of its territory. It could come right back here if it wanted to. Tell me I'm wrong.
What about Donna?
You really want to run the risk of it getting loose and attacking her? Or Sylvester or Lobo? We'd be putting even more people at risk. Why can't you just accept that this is something we're gonna have to do sometimes?
And why are you so quick to kill it? Just because it's an animal, you think its life isn't worth as much as a human's?
Mia, that's not what this is about.
It's not? You can tell me right now that you don't think your life is more valuable than this creature's.
Well...
That's what I thought.
But that's not the point. Us killing one creature is still a lot less death than this thing killing a bunch more people. It's math.
God damn it. God f***ing damn it.
I'm sorry, but we don't have any other choice.
Shut up. Just hurry up and get it over with.
So, I euthanized the Waheela. I didn't feel good about it, but can you blame me? I didn't want anyone else getting hurt. Anyway, after that, Mia said a few words, more to herself than me, and she even made a little cross out of rocks. It was around midnight at this point, so we set up camp for the night, in silence. The next morning, we packed up and made our way back into town. By the time we finally got back to the motel, Mia was starting to warm back up again. At least, she was, until I saw a headline from the local newspaper. What? Oh no. Shit. No.
Are you okay? What's wrong?
Okay. So, I might have made a tiny, huge mistake.
What did you do?
Well, apparently they finished the autopsy on Browning.
And?
It was drugs. He overdosed. They said that the head was most likely taken by a scavenger after he died.
You're telling me?
The Waheela didn't kill him. This was all for nothing. Mia?
Do not talk to me right now. Field notes. Waheela. The Waheela resembled a wolf, but it was about twice as big and far more muscular. Its fur was mostly a light golden brown, with some hints of red, and a near white patch running along its back. Its tail was longer and thinner than a wolf's, similar to that of a big cat. It stood just under 5 feet tall at the shoulders, and with its tail, it measured 14 feet long. Now, as best as I can tell, it probably had an omnivorous diet, more like a bear than a wolf. I can't say how much it hunted, but, as the local news can attest, it is definitely also a scavenger. Now, given the scat we found, I'm almost certain that the Waheela did in fact eat Browning's head after finding his body. But it didn't f***ing kill him. I'm sorry. Where was I? As for why it only ate his head, well, I've got no idea. Maybe it really does like brain. Given that there have only been a handful of reported decapitations in the past century, it's possible this creature is a unique individual specimen. Or was. And all those reports were also likely from scavenging, not hunting. Then again, if there is a larger population and it's based in the Nahanni Valley, that remoteness would explain the lack of sightings and attacks. But as usual, I can't really say for sure either way. End field notes.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or tell a friend. It really helps others find the show.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, search for Little Giant Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also visit our website, littlegiantmonsters.com.
Check out any of these pages to see other projects we're working on, as well as a new cryptid sketch every Monday after the new episode.
Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.